right, so a quarterly local card show was pretty busy, and it got there right about when it opened. I went straight over to my buddy Mitch's table. You've seen me talk about Mitch and show his stuff before. Awesome dealer, awesome guy, great cards. Take a look at some of his inventory. Now I'm going to go through some of these piles because some of this stuff was bonkers. Like really, really good stuff. So I started digging through right away and started down here in the front. And check out this Tim Keefe. I love that set so much. I've talked about it. Got some old Judge cards in there. You got some Tinkers, a couple of Tinkers. I mean, that thing is just gorgeous. Look at that card. I love this set so much. This World Champion set. It's one of my permanent saved searches on eBay is that set. And then a few of these national game cards. Got another Tinker there. And it gets better. There's a couple of Cracker Jacks. A 1915 Cracker Jack of Eddie Plank. Look at the centering on that card. It's a pretty darn nice 1.5 Eddie Plank. And Mitch always is getting new stuff in. Again, I put his contact information if you see anything you like. There's a Zach Weed, a Hall of Famer. One of two Native Americans in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's a beautiful card there. And got some DeLongs. Look at this beautiful Lefty Gomez. And then a Lefty O'Doul. A Pie Trainer. So just awesome stuff. The long cards, awesome. These are gorgeous examples, high-grade stuff. You can see, look at that Mantle, that 54 Red Heart Mantle. This card really caught my eye. This is the 1961 Sadahara O. It's a hand-cut card. And I thought the eye appeal on it was fantastic. This was one of the cards I had up in the think tank early. I was really considering this. I've wanted to get a Sadahara O card for a while, and that one is beautiful. And then again, the Mantle Red Heart in an 8. Super sharp card. Absolutely stunning. Picked up this next pile. I got a nice DiMaggio Burke Ross right there in a 7. Just a 51 Bowman Phil Rizzuto, 51 Bowman Feller, Klazuski. Just really, really good stuff. Mitch always comes off his prices a little bit, so I know that his labels are just basically starting points for us. So I'm considering that in my thought process. Got this beautiful play ball, 1940 play ball Moberg. Look at the centering. It was assigned an SGC 5. You can see that Larry Doby autograph there up at the top of the screen. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. Got a Gowdy Foreign one. And that card caught my eye. That color on that card just jumped. This Rabbit Moranville in an SGC 3. Super sharp. I mean, for a 3, and that's what we're talking about. Mitch and I are talking here going, how's that card a 3, man? The color on it, the image on it. And I tell, you might be able to hear me saying there, I go, I have a feeling someone's going to see this card in the video, and they're going to call you on this one. It's just a beautiful card. Got a Jimmy Fox, again, from the Diamond Stars set. They're really beautiful cards. They really have been catching fire recently over the last couple of years. And then I saw this 65 Bazooka Clemente, and I'm always looking for these for my boy Theo, Clemente collector. Shot him a picture. He said, I want it, but it's too high of a grade. So I started looking through some 1950 Bowmans. You can see that Duke Snider on top. Now, this pile I'm looking at right now, the whole pile is 40% off. So that Duke Snider is 40% off of the sticker price, which was pretty decent darn deal. It's pretty much 50-50 centered all the way around. So that card, my wheels are turning on as well. So right now at this point, I got the Sadahara O. I got the 1950 Duke Snider. And then again, that Dobie autograph. I haven't taken a close look at it yet, but I've noticed it, trust me. And keep looking through some more of these 1950 Bowmans. Mitch always has really nice raw stuff. If you are a collector and prefer your cards ungraded, Mitch has great stuff. And then he called me over and said, I want to make a trade, Greg. So we started going back and forth, and I don't know. I think he got me on this deal. I think I gave up way more than I received. And what he got was a Captain Midlife card, which I even signed for him. And in return, again, he approached me on this deal. In return, I received a Moynihan autographed card. I think we can all agree that he absolutely robbed me blind picking up the Captain Midlife autograph. So that deal was complete. I kept on looking. This is a really nice Hank Aaron rookie in a PSA 5, which he eventually sold later in the show. And it was a big sale for me. There's another Dobie. Speaking of Dobie, there's a nice looking Dobie right there.
It's hard to understand.
A stack of 54s. It's fun because I got people coming up and we're talking, and a lot of, whenever you go to these local shows, lots of familiar faces. It was really fun to talk to a bunch of different people. Beautiful 54 Ted Williams there and an SGC 5. My dad's standing next to me. He asked to take a closer look at. And then I picked up the 58 pile, and this Larry Dobie with a ballpoint pen autograph was a beautiful example and a super fair price. He was asking just over $200 for it. I thought it was gorgeous. He was asking $225, so that one is high on my list now as well. So I'm at my first table, and I've already got 3 cards I'm thinking about. Swung back by later, and the Dobie had sold. So good for Mitch, but made my decision a little easier, I guess. So we're looking through some 57 Topps cards. There's a nice Mantle in a BVG 7. Nice Snyder. Love that card with Mantle and Bear on it. 57 set is one of the first sets that had multiplayer cards. So I kept on digging. Lots of piles. I'm showing you a few of the highlights. Here's a stack of some 56s. Beautiful 56 Ernie Banks there.
It is pretty nice.
In an SGC3. My dad, again, is standing there looking at the cards with me. Really well-centered card there. Had a few team cards in here as well. Nice Killebrew from the 56 set. There's another team card. Nice Eddie Matthews. Pee Wee Reese. Some really good stuff. Don Newcomb. Nice Mantle. Just, I mean, heck, it's just a 56 Topps Mantle in an SGC3 about 8 deep in the pile. That's how you know it's a pretty good table when you got cards like that hiding late in piles. A cool Sandy Koufax. I know my dad's been looking at one of those, and we're going to take a look at another one here in a minute. There was a second room. The show has overflowed now and takes up a second room as well. So I went up there for a little bit and checked out some of these Topps posters. These were folded up and put into packs. I'm sure you've seen some from baseball as well. Football had them. Somebody actually sent me a Gale Sayers one recently. And so then when I saw this stack, I'm like, I'm going to go through them, see if there are any others that to go with the Sayers that I have. And you can see the Roman Gabriel there. He had a bunch of O.J. Simpsons. And then I was like, oh, they just kind of lesser names the rest of the way. And there's a few hiding in the back. And I'm asking the dealer, I'm like, where'd you get all these? And he said, when I opened them as packs as a kid. He's had them ever since. So it's kind of cool to possibly buy him from the original owner, the guy who pulled him from packs, who's an older gentleman. And I was going to buy a few things from him anyway, because you can see a Namath was hiding down there. He was asking $15 on that, which seemed reasonable. There's a Sayers. And I'm like, $15? This thing's pretty darn cool for just $15. And I was looking to bundle something because I was going to buy a couple of one-touches from him. I already had those pulled out. And so I was like, well, let's try to do a bundle deal and maybe get a discount on something else. So I was thinking, well, maybe I'll go with this Namath. This thing is pretty cool. And there are the one-touches I picked up for $4 each. And I ended up bundling it with this Topps Gold label Don Mattingly out of 50. And I got it for $5. And I'm like, that's a really good deal. This card's worth way more than that. So I put it on eBay when I got home, and it immediately sold for $15. So apparently I didn't price it high enough, but it covered the cost of my one-touches. So then I headed over to see my buddy Scott, who also has good stuff as always. Got a bunch of Mays and Mantles in his case there. Got some Hank Aaron's as well. He was telling me about a big purchase he made recently. I think it was last weekend at a show, of some very cool relic cards of some huge names. And I'll show you those here in just a second. But anytime you got a bunch of 52 and 51 Mays cards in your case, it's a pretty darn good case. And there's a nice Burke Ross Mays as well. So I looked this over pretty good. There's a Mantle rookie. Here are those relic cards. You got Aaron, you got Joe Jackson, you've got Ty Cobb, you've got Honus Wagner's, and there's DiMaggio and Gehrig and just Ruth. And he bought all of these last weekend. Just absolutely beautiful. Awesome to see these game-worn patch cards, including a Christy Mathewson, the one in purple there you can see on the left of the screen. Apparently that's Christy Mathewson's only game-used relic card. So it's pretty expensive because it's your only way to get one is to get one from that set. So I went over and looked at Scott's other cases, showing you some highlights here. Got some 53 Bowman colors in there. You got a Gale Sayers autographed rookie card, among other things. Nice Orlando Cepeda rookie card. So then I moved on to the next table, and this dealer carries a lot of ungraded stuff. He comes occasionally to shows, so I'm always checking out his stuff when he comes. And this 55 All-American set I absolutely love. I have a few cards from it, and that Newt Rockne, ungraded on the top, caught my eye, and I wanted to look at the pile. Didn't have a price on it, but I asked him here in a second how much he wanted.
How much do you have on the Newt Rockne?
125.
And he quoted me 125 on that card, which is a little high. It's a little off center. It's pretty sharp, but it was a little off center. And so I was kind of, I think that's too high. So then I looked through a stack of his 53 Bowman colors, always a beautiful set. And there's a beautiful Campanella a few cards ago that is beautiful. That's a cool card there too, with Rizzuto and Billy Martin. My dad's standing next to me again. He's like, let me take a look at that one. So he kind of was thinking on that one for a minute, but didn't end up buying it.
Yeah, those are hard. Yeah.
So I went through this stack, nothing that really caught my eye. But I saw he had another stack of the 55 All-American football cards in a different case. So I decided to move down a couple cases and look at those. And a lot of them on top were some commons, if you want to call them commons. They're All-Americans. And then there was this Sammy Baugh, which I already have a Sammy Baugh, so I didn't need that. But this red Grange was really sharp. Again, a little off center, but really sharp. I asked for a price on that one, which he quoted me $150. And then he had another Newt Rockney. This one actually isn't as sharp, but was better centered. I didn't ask for a price on this one. So I'm kind of thinking about the red Grange card in the stack, which again he's asking $150. So I've got about 4 cards I'm kind of churning on right now. And then my dad says, "What do you think of this 56 Koufax?" It's in an SGC 5 and really well centered. And he got a quote on a price on it, and then he started thinking on it, and he goes, "Well, I'm going to come back and I'm going to think about it." And so he was kind of hanging nearby and kind of walked away for a few minutes as he was processing it. And the next person that came up to the table picked it up and bought it. So my dad was not able to score it. So I kept moving around, and this guy had a cool case of some vintage stuff. So I asked to see this Willie Keeler, a card I've been looking for a while. I loved the centering on this T206 Willie Keeler. It has an SGC assigned 2. It's got a Piedmont back. But there was just some discoloration on the right border compared to the left border that I was like, I think that'll drive me crazy. So I decided to pass. So I kept on hunting, went over to my friend Jeff Guy's table. This is Jeff's. He's been on the channel before. He had some beautiful 61 Fleer basketball cards in there. And his next case had a lot of good baseball stuff. A nice Bob Gibson rookie and an SGC 3 there in the middle. Tommy Lasorda rookie card. Nice Satchel Paige. A 53 Topps Jackie Robinson. Check out some of the stuff in this last case. He's got a couple of Hires root beers with the tab. Look at those. That Dobie is beautiful. And he's just got a smattering of great stuff. But check out on the left these postcards. My goodness. The Hal Chase. And that's a Honus Wagner top left-hand corner that I'm about to get a better look at. It's a Honus Wagner postcard from, I think it was like 1910. Gorgeous. And then that was about wrapping it up. So I made the one purchase, and it was for the Mattingly, along with my one touches, and the Mattingly ended up paying for the one touches. So I guess I broke even on the day, but scored a Moynihan auto card and a couple of one touch cases.